Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I don't know wherever you're from. I think we're all in different time zones. Um, as I mentioned, our ecosystem summit, this is the first one for 2024, and we will start it with a brief lecture about startup industries and ecosystems, and then we will move on to ecosystem pitches from 10 wonderful ecosystems globally. Just a preview of the ecosystems that will be speaking. We will have Kingston, then Kingston, Canada, Chihuahua, Mexico, Porto Alegre, Cordoba, Serbia. So it's really a diverse set of ecosystems. And we hope that it will be a valuable session for everyone. So I think we can start. We have a good number of people who have joined us now. Hi, Ellie.
Hello, everyone. So good to connect. I'm Eli. I'm the CEO of StartupBlink. Thank you all for arriving. I'm outside currently in the beautiful village of Kentar in Spain, so sending my regards. And yeah, I just wanted before we move on to the talk today, we're gonna have a short talk about startup industries and how important it is to sometimes pick our industry and sort of like not bet on all industries in order for our city ecosystem to grow. Just wanted to thank everyone for arriving. We're very happy to work with ecosystem developers that truly care about their startup ecosystem. I think the people here that are going to do the pitches, which is probably the most interesting part of this conversation, they're really at the forefront. They care a lot about their ecosystem, and those are cities that are very interesting just because there are so many people that they are blessed with ecosystem developers that really care about the ecosystem and pay attention to the cities that are going to present here because those are the cities that are basically the cities that we think are going to be the future winners just because they think about it, they build a strategy. So yeah, really great to be here, and we can move to the top. So thank you.
Thank you, Ellie. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, and like Ellie said, it's really interesting for us to have so many ecosystem developers wanting to present and share their ecosystems globally. It's always startups who do the pitching, and now it's also nice to see um, ecosystem developers championing their ecosystems and sharing more information about it. So I'll start with a very quick um, presentation that we have. So for today, we'll do a quick introduction about StartupLink, a um, quick information about industry trends in 2023, information, and then we'll dive deep into why it's important for ecosystem developers to focus in an industry. And then last one is about startup ecosystem development. So for those that may not know us, we are StartupLink. We're a global platform that works with government agencies, private sector in different ways, such as ecosystem development or also industry research. We're also now diving deep into startups and the micro level of the startup ecosystem. So we have, of course, our map. You can head to our map at startupblink.com/startups. If you can't find your startup there, it's completely free to add your startup to the map. We release a report every year. The next report in 2024 will be released in Q4. So it would be a very exciting event where we can see the improvements of ecosystems that you might see today, and also, of course, all the other ecosystems that we're ranking. We're ranking 1,000 cities and 100 countries globally. The report is done in partnership with big databases like Crunchbase, Statista, SEMrush, and Bright Data. And like I mentioned, we work with over 100 government agencies, public sector agencies in different modules to develop their startup ecosystem, either through analysis modules, diagnosis, or promotion, as well as some trainings that we do for startups and ecosystem developers themselves. Aside from the consulting side, of course, we have our platform that I showed. through the StartupLink Pro, you'll be able to see startups, more startups in different industries. Also look into data about ecosystem on the ecosystem level, such as rankings of the cities and the countries, and also in their rankings in the 12 industries and the 100 plus sub-industries that we rank. And this is a new feature that we just launched recently around maybe like a few weeks ago, which is the SB rank. For the first time, we're able to actually rank the startups themselves as well. So if you have a startup, maybe you can go to startupblink.com, search your startup there, and you'll be able to see the ranking of your startup in your city, in your country, or in your region, and also see some of the competitors of your startup as well. And in the work that we do with ecosystem developers and our want to spread the word about different ecosystems, we also release reports. So we do either industry reports, the global report, or the ecosystem report that you see now. We just released this report for Markham. So this is a report about Markham where we highlight why people should move there, what are the benefits, some industry highlights as well, top industries that you can expect to see if you go to Markham as a startup or as an investor. You can download this by going to startupblink.com/reports. You will see all the links that I mentioned on the chat as well. So now let's move into the actual lecture. Yeah, so StartupBlink, like I mentioned, we do rankings, but why do we need to rank ecosystems? Why is it important for entrepreneurs, for investors, or even ecosystem developers themselves to know the rankings of their locations? It's because ecosystem matters. Sometimes being in a particular location can dictate whether you'll succeed or you'll get enough support from the government or from other ecosystem entrepreneurs around you. And of course, ecosystems are all in different levels. So we have ecosystems that are focusing on the global or the whole world, like San Francisco, New York, and London. But not everyone can do that, of course. And there are also some ecosystems that specialize in catering to regional market. So for example, Dubai is a good example of a hub with a regional reach. And the last kind that we've identified is national startup ecosystem. So usually these are countries with really big populations like China, India, or Indonesia, because they have a big market size. Most of their startups don't really see the need of going out. So as ecosystem developers or startups, it's really important to find out what kind of focus your ecosystem has, because this way you'll be able to know what would make you succeed more as a startup if you focus on different markets. But aside from the scope of the ecosystem, it's also important for ecosystems to excel on different industries or choose a particular industry to specialize in. So what you're seeing now is a quick recap of what we found in our research in 2023. We found that software and data is the top industry in terms of startup distribution. The next is health tech, fintech, and then the least amount of startups is in transportation. We can see as well that actually social and leisure and e-commerce and retail, their amount of startups or their market share in all of the startups that we have has decreased in 2023 compared to 2022. Now we're looking at a graph that shows the number of unicorns based on the industry they're in. Similar to the previous graph, software and data is still number one with almost 40% of the unicorns in our database being in software and data. But it's interesting to see that fintech is actually higher than health tech here, and even e-commerce and retail is actually has higher performance in terms of unicorns. So why is it important for ecosystems to specialize in an industry? It's really simple. It's because if you focus on something, then you'll be able to put more resources there. And also, you'll be able to attract more startups in that particular industry if you specialize in it. That means that you'll become a hub and you'll be able to brand yourself as a hub as well. It's unfortunate, but not everyone can be San Francisco, so we can't all specialize in all industries. So this is why we always advise our partners and government agencies to find an industry where you're really good at or your startups are performing well, and this will help you in being a hub in that either globally, regionally, or even in your country. So like to be able to do that, you should know what industries you're excelling in. So for example, here we're highlighting an example of Singapore. Singapore city, if you look at general rankings, they're actually in the top 20. But if you look just on food tech, we can see that there's 6 globally. So now they can brand themselves as a hub in food tech, similar to Barcelona. So Barcelona, we can see here that they jumped 38 spots if we're just looking on IoT, which is a sub-industry of hardware and IoT. Because in the regular rankings, they're actually in the 2 digits, they're top 40. But if you're just looking at IoT, then they can brand themselves as a hub in this sub-industry. Similar case for Taipei and Tokyo and Yokohama, which is among the top 10 hardware and IoT, and also Seoul, which is usually out of the top 10 in the global rankings. But if we only look at consumer electronics, they are in the top 10. So to be able to see if you're interested in finding out what industries your location, your city, your country is excelling in the StartupBlink rankings, you can go to the dashboard of your location. So to go there, you just go to the homepage, click on ecosystems and then search, and you'll be able to find this on your dashboard. Okay, so why is it important again to know these things? Aside from being able to specialize in that industry, it's also important because then you'll be able to promote yourself as a leader in that industry. An ecosystem is like a product, you know, if you don't promote a product, no one knows that it exists. No one knows that it's great, even though it's amazing. So it's the same case for ecosystems, and that's why we should push and find an angle where we're doing really well, and that way we can use that as a weapon to promote ourselves. And that's actually what a lot of the ecosystem developers will be doing today. And without further ado, we will move into that part of the summit. But if you have any questions, feel free to put them on the chat, or also it's better if you email us at feedback@startupblink.com or head over to our landing page, ecosystemdevelopment.startupblink.com, where you can leave your details and we'll be able to reach out to you for a call. Okay. Yeah, you can also see all the links on our chat. Like I mentioned, we're now moving into the more exciting part of our event. We will be hearing from 10 different ecosystem developers about their ecosystem. During this event, the ecosystem developers will have around 6 minutes to pitch. And we'll be finding out more about the verticals that or industries that they're focused in, or any interesting initiatives that they have. So let us start. The first ecosystem that we will be hearing about is Kingston, Canada. We will be hearing from Norman, who is the Business Development Manager for Startups and Entrepreneurship at Kingston Ecosystem Development. So while Shango is promoting, oh, hi Norman. Just a very quick facts about how amazing Kingston is. So Kingston is currently 9th in Canada. They are 4th in energy and environment in Canada and 7th in hardware and IoT. Hi, Norman.
Hi, Catherine. How are you?
Great. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for the opportunity. Should I go ahead and share?
Yes, please. Yeah, the floor is yours.
When you see my screen, let me know.
We see your screen, and now it's on presenter mode. So we see the notes. It's not on.
Okay, let me share from the other side. So why does it always have to make me go through this dance?
Right. We don't see your screen anymore, but
No, I'm sharing again
okay, no problem.
because I have two screens.
Ah,
How about now?
yes, we see it. Perfect.
All right. Okay, thank you so much. So my name is Norman Msengimana, and I am lucky to be supporting the Kingston startup ecosystem in Kingston, Ontario. Ontario is one of the provinces in Canada, and we are always excited when we have opportunities to share through StartupBlink. So like Catherine was saying, we have identified a few industries where we feel like we are really good at and where we feel like we could compete with the best in the world. Even if we are ranking very well for other industries because of the nature of our ecosystem, going forward, we really want to put our effort in sustainable manufacturing and health innovations. And we've started this work. We have what we call integrated economic development strategy that we have developed in partnership with all the ecosystem players, the city of Kingston, the universities and colleges, and a few other organizations that we work with in this work. But how we work as an organization, as Kingston Economic Development Corporation, we do support companies across the board, from when you have an idea, or actually when you are trying to work on your idea, to a point where you're looking to exit your business. So we support the entire value chain of either creating a company or exiting a company. Here I'm going to share a little bit about some of the companies that we are working with and what's happening around them. Under the health innovation umbrella or side of what we do, we have, for example, Octane, which is one of the startups that is growing very fast for the past probably 3 years. It has grown, it has hired more than probably 80 new employees. And this is one of the best startups in the world when it comes to creating like custom body parts, like let's say knee cartridge. They can create one from the lab, and the entire processing line is kind of automated. And so one of the best in the world. We have seen companies from or opportunities from Switzerland explore how they can collaborate or work with these guys from other major cities in the world, the sports industry, and so on and so forth. Under sustainable manufacturing, we have a lot of cool stories or cool companies going on, from the rare earth minerals to like the EV or sustainable electric vehicle startups that are creating technologies or empowering technologies in that space. And so what we are seeing in Kingston is we have a unique ecosystem that I like to say that can compete anyone in the world, because we have two of the best facilities, like at incubation level and acceleration level, that help companies do not only validate the claims in their patents or in their intellectual properties, but also that help those patents be developed into sustainable and growing companies. And so an example is Secret Material that has just raised 40 million. This company came to Kingston 2 years ago as an idea. They have been helped to do not only validate the claims that were embedded into their intellectual property, but also now they are a company that has built a team that continues to scale, that is looking now to expand from Kingston to Europe. And so what they do is not something that you will have thought of. When I visited them the first time, I realized that they were taking, like, for example, hard disk of computers because they have magnets. There is no company in the world that was recycling magnet and separating all the elements that are in a magnet. So a magnet is apparently one of the most rich natural elements in terms of what makes it up. And so these guys, they are recycling magnets from all over the world, the first company to do that. And they have a very clear, clean process that was invented and built from this small city. We have UCore, which is a new company that has just finished a prototype plant. You can see the picture there. This prototype plant doesn't exist anywhere in the world. It was invented and everything put together to make sure that it produces the new technology they're looking to commercialize from the EV space, right from Kingston. And the government of Canada has just given them, I think this was 4 months ago, around November, they have just given them $4.2 million to help them realize some of the initiatives they're working on. And so we feel like when it comes to electric vehicle, especially, I can actually speak beyond Kingston. I think the province of Ontario is doing really well in that space. There are new reports that are showing that we could probably be doing, like becoming either number 1 or number 2 in the world in the technologies and type of companies and inventions that are happening in this space. Because companies like Volkswagen have invested in this province. Companies like Umico from Belgium, they have invested in this ecosystem, in this industry in Canada. And so like what you're looking at right now, Lifecycle is a company that became a $1 billion company in less than 3 years. Secret Material is the one that I was just talking about. Umico just invested $1.5 billion in this ecosystem. UCO is the one that has just gotten like support from the federal government. So you can see that we are kind of trying to cover the entire EV space spectrum, and most of these innovations happen right from this ecosystem. So if there is someone who's on the call who has technologies that could maybe complement some of the work that is being done in this industry, please don't be shy. Reach out to us. We will support you. We'll listen. We'll see how we can be able to probably help you realize some of the initiatives that you have. So what happens in this ecosystem? So we have a very kind of robust ecosystem. We're a very small city. We have about probably close to 160,000 population. And so it's not like a very large city, but we have one of the best universities in Canada. The Royal Military College is located here. So you can imagine all the expertise in the Canadian Army. Then we have St. Lawrence College. We have one of the best intellectual property offices in this country. And then, like I was saying, we have companies like Green Center Canada, which incubate anyone who has a fantastic idea or invention in the green revolution or green space. And then we have KPM Accelerate, which is like one of the best companies when it comes to helping any company in the chemical technology space that is working on a product or invention that doesn't exist anywhere in the world, to be able to build like a prototype, unique plant that can help the company to produce or realize whatever it wants to produce. From a health innovation perspective or healthcare or health sciences perspective, we have one of the most integrated healthcare systems in Canada in this ecosystem. So if you are a startup and you're looking to pilot your initiatives, we usually tend to be probably one of the best. And then this is the story of how a company goes from an idea to probably becoming one of the best in the world. And so we have all the ecosystem, all these companies that are supporting, you are seeing at the bottom of the page, Green Center, Bison, BGM, they're all based in Kingston. The ones on top, KPM, Accelerate, all based in Kingston. So it's like a complete ecosystem of its own in this space. This is another company just to show you like the journey and how the ecosystem partners work together to try and help the company to realize the work that it's doing. This company, Spectra Plasmonics, was developed from a patent that was developed at Queen's University. And right now they are able to export some of their technology into the US. So this is the journey they took, and that's every ecosystem partner who played a role in helping them to get where they are today. And so we like to say that we are about between 7 and 9 hours away from New York, DC, and Boston. And then we are 3 hours, between 2 to 3 hours from Ottawa, Montreal, and Toronto. And that's why we feel like when you have access to this ecosystem, you have access to probably around maybe more than 14 million market access or population access to kind of from this ecosystem. And we have what we call one of the 3 Canada-US trading corridor, we call the Kingston-Syracuse pathway, where we work with our partners in the US to be able to help expand the market reach for our companies. So you can write an email to me via msengimana@investkingston.ca. But you can also reach to me through LinkedIn by writing my names, Norman Msengimana, and then we can connect and take the conversations forward. So thank you so much, Catherine. Thank you so much, StartupBlink.
Thank you very much, Norman. It's always great to hear about Kingston Startup Ecosystem and how you've, built a really great ecosystem despite having, a small population. Like you always say, you're always punching above your weight, and it's always inspiring for us to see.
Thank you. This work cannot be done without your support, your reports, your guidance. So we truly appreciate everything you do for us.
Thank you, Norman. Have a great day.
You as well.
So after traveling and hearing about the great ecosystem of Kingston, we'll now hear more about Chihuahua, Mexico. We will be hearing from David from Ecosystem Eddies. While we're promoting David, we just a few notes about Chihuahua. Chihuahua is currently 5th in Mexico and 7th in Central America. It is the first and only ranked ecosystem for hardware and IoT in Central America. Hi, David. How are you?
Good morning, Catherine, here
Morning.
in Chihuahua.
Must be very early for you. Thank you for joining us.
No, it is okay, and welcome everyone that is listening and attending this video call. I will proceed to share my presentation. Please let me know when if you can see it.
Yes, we can see the full screen now.
Okay, perfect. So basically, this is an update of what we present 3 months ago related to our ecosystem. And for the ones that are listening for first time about Chihuahua City, where we are in the north of Mexico, just 3.5 hours driving from US, 2 hours flying or taking a flight. You can take a flight and be in 2 hours in San Diego, Denver, Dallas, or Mexico City, direct flights. We have a population of almost 1 million. We have almost $9,000 GPD per capita. And the cost of living in Chihuahua is almost a half of the cost of living in London. We graduate around 3.5 thousand people from STEM every single year. and half of our population is economically active. So this is, in a nutshell, some info related to our location and economics about Chihuahua. And in terms of rankings related to StartupBlink, well, Mexico as a country is in the ranking the 37th worldwide. Chihuahua city is in Mexico is ranked as the 5th startup ecosystem. However, all the ecosystems in the top, like Mexico City, Monterrey, Puebla, Guadalajara, they are very large cities. I mean, we're talking about more than 3 or 4 million people. So if we focus on the size of Chihuahua, basically we are the first startup ecosystem with a population of 1 million or less. Another relevant information related to Chihuahua City is that according to the Mexican Competitiveness Institute, that they just delivered the results of the rankings last year. Chihuahua, in terms of innovation, is ranked number 1, or we have the first place, even having a better ranking than Monterrey, Guadalajara, or even any other major or very large city. So we are well ranked on terms of startups and innovation. And this is thanks to work that we have been doing from several years ago. I mean, some relevant information in our timeline of startup ecosystem is that we organized the first startup weekend in Latin America. We were one of the first ones to start startup accelerator and fund. We start working with the University of Berkeley more than around 10 years ago. Recently, last year, the city started an initiative as a startup Chihuahua to focus very well on this topic. We got a government bill related to entrepreneurship and startups, and we start also working last year with StartupBlink, you guys, and also with the MIT RIP program. And well, most recent results is that one of the startups from Chihuahua, they got the sub-champion or second place in the Startup World Cup. It's a safe route in agrotech. Basically, what they do is they, with their technology, they preserve fruits. So now Mexico is able to export through sea papaya and avocados to Russia, for example. Previous to that, in order to export that kind of fruits, you have to export those by airplane. So that's a startup that is growing very fast and that is really doing huge innovation. Another one, another startup that was the champion of the Entrepreneurship World Cup is BioGrip. They are developing prosthetic arms using artificial intelligence and state-of-the-art technology. And of course, this startup is in health tech. So this is just 2 examples very fast about what we are doing in Chihuahua. As you can see, we got champions in 2 of the most representative startups entrepreneurship events in the world, one in Silicon Valley and the other one in Saudi Arabia last year. And well, the pitch here is that in Chihuahua City, we have several entities that can help you to accelerate or incubate your tech or startup idea or project or startup from the beginning to the acceleration. Actually, the two examples that we mentioned, one of the CEO is from Venezuela and the other one is from Guadalajara. So we are looking for startups that would like to explore the Mexican or Latin American markets in terms of agrotech, industry 4.0, health tech, fintech, or they are looking for solutions from the startups that are already working on these industries. For any information or interest related to our ecosystem, here are the emails. The first one is from the president of the Entrepreneurship Network of Chihuahua, Ricardo Bustos. And the second one is from is my email. So we look forward to anyone that could be interested to explore business opportunities in Chihuahua City. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. Thank you for sharing that. It's really interesting to know more about the ecosystem, especially, great news like you shared about Safe Root. We always say that if there's a champion, then it follows afterwards because people will be more interested. Like even local startups will probably want to stay because they've seen someone also succeed in the ecosystem. So we look forward to more Safe Roots from from Chihuahua in the future.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Okay, so the next ecosystem will be staying in Mexico this time. We won't be traveling that far. We will be hearing more about the Guanajuato startup ecosystem or the Leon city startup ecosystem. We will be hearing from Antonio Reyes, who is the General Director of IDEA GTO. While we're promoting Antonio, here are a few things about Leon. So Leon is currently 8th in Mexico. Manufacturer Valley of Guanajuato is one of a really fast-growing ecosystem based on our ranking. They're currently second in Mexico for food tech and also excelling well in the ed tech industry. Hello, Antonio. Nice to see you. Good morning.
Hello, Catherine. Morning from Mexico also, and thank you very much for this opportunity to present our ecosystem.
It's always a pleasure to have you.
May I share the screen?
Yes, please. The floor is yours.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much. I would like to be very brief in my presentation, but also thank you to Ellie Davis, Mr. Mahmoud Samsi, and also Katrina for you. Thank you for the support and promoting the ecosystems around the world. And we have a very important alliance with the StartupBlink. We recognize your efforts and support for the young ecosystem that we are launching. I think very important initiatives. Also, I would like to present. This is Guanajuato. Guanajuato, it's located at the center of Mexico. We are the 5th economy, most important economy along Mexico. Is strategically located in the center of the country, which makes it a privileged location as a national connection point for logistic matters. It's a very, very important region, Guanajuato. In Latin America, we have, in fact, the most important automotive cluster in Latin America. Also, we have a very important efforts in science and technology, the development and promotion, and we are a very important ecosystem in exports. We are doing very interesting things in food industry and in agriculture also. And we have at the state, as a region, 6.1 million inhabitants in Guanajuato. As you said previously, León is the economic capital of Guanajuato, is one of the 46 municipalities that we have in IDEA Guanajuato is the institute, it's the authority in these specific ideas, entrepreneurship, technology, competitiveness, science, and innovation. And we have the characteristic that we're working a lot with private initiative, but also we are working with other members of the cabinet of the governor. But we have plenty international alliances with very dynamic ecosystems around the world. We have, as you already said, the identity of our ecosystem is Manufacture Valley, Valle de la Mente Factura, and we share this identity together, the 46 municipalities, and we're growing very, very, very fast. We have this system in order to provoke in the society the trust, the confidence, in order to create new opportunities, new ventures, and it's easy to create a company in Guanajuato. It's easy to launch new products and new initiatives here because you have an ecosystem that brings support, and this is the map that you could follow. Right now, Guanajuato is the third national place in patent applications. And we are very proud also to say that we are the third national place in innovation applications, and second international place with the 5 city regions around the world with the 5 City Foundation. We are very proud also. We have a very nice and very important alliance with the StartupBlink, and you already recognize us as the ecosystem that is the fastest growing Mexican ecosystem this year. We have plenty communities already occurring with the alliance with chambers, economic chambers, with universities, with associations. We are focused on many industries, but we are developing a lot of technology here also. We have the gyms, as you see. We have 30 gyms in Guanajuato. That it's a place focused on promote and grow ideas and the intention to create. And after the gyms, we have the business incubators and the hobbies. The hobbies are the innovation hubs. As you see, we have 4 innovation hubs in Guanajuato, focused on these industries and these verticals. There are places focused on digital transformation and creative economy. And these are the incubators. We have 20 incubators in Guanajuato located around the state in order to be easy for anyone to promote and to create. We have also the Data Decision Lab and the Innovation District. We have plenty of facilities in order to bring support to the business community in Guanajuato. And we have also this very important Forum Capital, Startup Capital, focus on pre-seed capital, and we are the most important festival on capital in Mexico right now in this stage. We have also the initiative for women in artificial intelligence, already 1,000 women, and we have the Manufacture Day. Very quickly, this is our festival, will be happening on April the 24th and 25th. It's a very, very, very important summit. And as you see, this will be some of the speakers, Mr. Michocaco and Hayat, our governor, and plenty other influencers that will be supporting. And in order to be respectful with the time, this would be my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Antonio. Thank you for sharing about Guanajuato and also Leon, and I'm sure people would be interested as well about the event. So we'll share the links as well after the event.
Please, Catherine, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
Same for you.
Yes. Yeah, so on our world tour now, we are going to stay in the same, almost the same geography, but further south, we will be hearing more about the Porto Alegre startup ecosystem. You'll be hearing from Professor Luis Carlos Pinto Silva, who is the Secretary of Innovation for Porto Alegre. So while he is being promoted, a few things about Porto Alegre. Currently, Porto Alegre is 5th in Brazil, and the focus industries that we can see based on our rankings is energy and environment, where they rank 2nd in Brazil, and fintech, where they rank 4th in Brazil.
Hello,
Hello.
Catherine.
Hello.
Pleasure to be with you.
Great to have you here as well.
It's a pleasure to be representing Porto Alegre. I'll just jump into our presentation. Let me see here. Porto Alegre is one of the hotspots of innovation in the south of Brazil. It's the capital of Rio Grande do Sul, the southernmost state that's closer to Uruguay and Argentina, and one of the most relevant economic hubs that we have in the country, with more than 1,000 startups and more than 8,000 technology businesses, and an economy that's based on retail, health, construction, food, gastro, agro, because Porto Alegre is a very, Rio Grande do Sul is a very agro-minded state. We have a population of close to 1.5 million and a PIB that's showed upstairs. It's a city that is known for its very strong roots on knowledge and talent. It has one of the most potent academic clusters in the country, with the best federal university, URGS, and 2 of the top 5 private universities, PUC and Unicinos, that have joined together to create the Alliance for Innovation, one of the pillars of the innovation movement that we have nowadays in the city. We have more than 50 higher education institutions working, and more than 100,000 graduate and undergraduate students, which put us in the 2nd highest PhD ratio per capita of the country, and producing 11% of the qualified knowledge. And that's why a lot of international companies like Dell, HP, Microsoft enter the Brazilian market through Porto Alegre, because we have very strong talent on engineering, IT, and health sciences. We also have a very potent local innovation system, some of the most well-known, prized and recognized science and technology parks, a lot of accelerators and investor networks, some business incubators that are very are the series for a lot of things that we are doing in the city nowadays. Innovation hubs and other innovation players that are connected through the POA hub. That's the network of innovation stakeholders in the city that was created to make sure that we maintain a very low boundary among these institutions, and we can think collectively. We have been working a lot to make sure that it's a city that has a very friendly business environment for innovators. A lot of programs, incentives, tributary incentives for innovation. We are the leader in using public procurement for innovative solutions based on a new regulation, a national regulation that was put in place in 2021. The economic freedom law that kind of reduces bureaucracy. We reduce the need and the time for a lot of permits. You can start a new business in 10 minutes. We have a human entrepreneurship program, a microcredit, 0% interest rate for small businesses, and special programs that kind of give tax reductions for innovative business. All of that has placed us as in some of the rankings as the best place to do business from the Ministry of Competitiveness of Brazil. And we are working a lot to make sure that we have a smarter city strategy that supports all of this. It's a city that also tries to foster innovation. The first Brazilian unicorn, GetNet, was created in Porto Alegre. We have the most active city living lab in Brazil. More than 75 innovative solutions being proposed and tried on the city. We have been working with special calls to promote internationalizations. Last year, the focus was Portugal and Canada, but we are looking into new partnerships for this year. We have special calls for deep tech, food techs, fintechs, govtechs, tourist techs, health techs, and urban techs, and a very important ship tech cluster. The core of ship tech industry in Brazil is located in Porto Alegre with Ceitec, and now we receive some of the international players like Impinj from the UK and Insilica from the US that have recognized the talents that we have on ship design in Porto Alegre. We also want to make sure that innovation is not a bubble, but a blanket. And we have a very strong focus on inclusive innovation. We have a partnership with Santiago Uribe from Medellin to create programs like the Community Innovation Hubs or the Innovation Territories program. And we have done probably the best survey of the needs and characteristics of peripheric local entrepreneurs from our local communities. And we are working on ways to use innovation and entrepreneurship to make sure that we can build future plans and develop new opportunities for people all around the city. We are a leader on digital transformation. We have one of the most well-recognized digital government initiatives in the country, with a lot of important programs that are making our government be one of the examples of digital transformation, like the Zero Paper or the digital citizen programs that we have in the city. We are also a city that is betting a lot on collaboration. Pacto Alegre is a quadruple helix movement that changed the city in the last few years. It was created to be a participatory city building exercise. We have the mentorship of José Piqué from La Salle, Barcelona, and we put together more than 110 key city institutions to foster more than 40 citywide transformation programs, projects that really changed the city, like the one that created Caldeira. It's the fastest growing innovation hub in Brazil that has the connection to more than 700 startups, and it's a key feature in the city nowadays. We, together with Pacto Alegre, we also were able to bring to Porto Alegre the South Summit. It's one of the top 5 innovation events in the world that was started in Madrid and has the chapter for Latin America is in Porto Alegre, and has made really an attraction of more than 2,000 startups for this year's competition. It will be now on March. I leave here the invite for everyone to come to South Summit in Porto Alegre. The Latam IASP meeting will be here, and we have more than 130 venture capital funds and a lot of angel investors coming to the city. We also put building international relations. We put the 4th district, innovation district, in the global network of innovation districts of IASP. And we have bet on also having more allies than enemies, and we are working together with Caxias do Sul, Joinville, Florianópolis, and Curitiba to create the Tech Roads. That's a major, large regional innovation cluster that has more than 5 million people, more than 40 scientific parks, and more than 3,000 startups. So all that has been reflected in a lot of rankings, like you can see here. We are the first in friendly environment for 5G technology, open innovation cities, and number of startups. But probably the one that we liked more was the award from StartupBlink as the overperforming startup ecosystem in Brazil in 2023, and one of the 15 best environments for startups in Latin America. So Porto Alegre is ready and willing to be a part and a partner of the global StartupBlink ecosystem, and that was another product of Pacto Alegre. That's a city brand that will go through a lot of digital, a lot of mandates in here, and become, we think, the I Love New York of Porto Alegre. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Professor Luis. It's always nice to know more about Porto Alegre, and it's refreshing to see a city that has so many allies. A lot of cities try to, especially if you're from the same region, there's always competition, but you grow more if you have more people beside you. So glad to see that. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day. Okay, so the next ecosystem that we'll be hearing about is Cordoba in Argentina. We'll be hearing from Lucas Navarro from the Cordoba Agency of Innovation and Undertake. A few things about Cordoba. So Cordoba is currently ranked 2nd in Argentina. And industries where they're overperforming at is energy and environment, where they're 7th in South America. and health tech, where they're sixth in South America. Hello, Lucas. It's nice to see you, and thank you for taking the time today.
Hello. Hi, can you see my presentation?
Yes, we see it.
Okay. Well, first of all, thanks very much for giving us the opportunity to present our ecosystem. I represent the Córdoba Agency for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Let me say a little bit about where we are. We are in Córdoba, which is we are in the center of Argentina. Argentina has 24 regions or states, and Córdoba is the second largest economy of Argentina in terms of its contribution to the country GDP. We are nearly 4 million people living in our region. In terms of our productive structure, Córdoba is a complex economy with a variety of competitive productive sectors, such as agricultural, food manufacturing, automobile, medical devices, aerospatial, ICTs, among others. One particular strength of our region is that we are a university hub. There are 12 universities in our region, which host more than 250,000 students. Just to give you an example, the city of Córdoba, the population is about 2 million, and more than 200,000 people are university students. That means that the city and the province has a strength in research. There is a strong technological scientific systems. There is a lot of collaboration between academia and the private sector. Out of this, nearly 60,000 firms were located in the region. Nearly 3,000 are in the knowledge economy. Just here you have a number of indicators showing that we have a lot of technological centers, R&D groups, research projects going on. In terms of researchers per 1,000 inhabitants, we have a larger rate than Argentina, the national average, and then Chile, just to give you an example. And in this context, the agency, Córdoba Agency for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, has been in operation since 2017. And the mission of our agency is to promote the development of entrepreneurship and innovation in our region. And we do this through a different set of tools, policy instruments, like the funding, ecosystem development tools, etc. We are proudly the only regional agency who are members of the Latin American Network of Innovation Agencies, which is supported by the Inter-American Development Bank. Just to give a brief description of what we do, we have funding programs, ecosystem development programs, open innovation programs, and we also have a strong interest in monitoring and evaluation. So we are pretty much interested in gathering information about how the ecosystem is evolving and what is the impact of our programs. Just to give you a quick picture of main indicators of our thriving ecosystem, we have in our agency 23 programs and initiatives, more than 400 incubated startups, more than 70 co-invested startups, more than 100 accelerated startups. In terms of organizations, about 23 incubators, 7 accelerators, and 8 venture funds, 10 chambers and clusters. In terms of our co-invested startups since 2017, there have been 74 startups where the agency has co-invested with the private sector. The private-public investment ratio was 2.2. That means that for every dollar invested by the agency, the private sector has invested more than twice the amount invested by the public sector. This is a small ecosystem, but it's a quickly growing ecosystem. Our portfolio valuation is about $250 million. The type of programs we have consider that the startups, once they succeed, they can actually return the funding provided by the agency, and we have already 3 startups which have returned the funds. As a measure of success of our programs, 44% of the startups supported have raised capital after the investment by the agency. 55% of the startups supported have started to export. On average, we talk about an average startup of 16 people in their enterprises. So what are the main industries you see here in this graph? Agtechs, 25% of the co-invested startups are in the agtech sector. And this is why then we have health tech and biotech. Those are the most competitive industries, and this is closely related to what are the most competitive sectors in our province in terms of productive sectors I mentioned before. And then just to finish, I go to Rio Cuarto. Rio Cuarto is a small city in the south of our province with only 280,000 people living there, but which is very strong in the agtech industry. 65% of the startups are in Rio Cuarto are agtech. Out of the co-invested startups, 75% are in agtech, and this is a strong industry in the region of Rio Cuarto, where they have a small ecosystem with high potential. So there, I stop here, and thanks very much for your attention and the opportunity you're giving us to present our ecosystem. I stop here. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Lucas. It was great to know more about Cordoba and also, the city surrounding it and the great things that you've done for the ecosystem.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day.
You too.
Okay, so we've been staying in LATAM for a few presentations now, so we'll have a quick break. We'll travel to Albania. And we'll be hearing from Jorina Kadare, who is the head of ecosystem development at Albania Startup Agency. A few things about Albania. Albania is the 8th ranked ecosystem in Balkans. Some overperforming industries of its top ecosystem, Tirana. Tirana ranks 5th in the Balkans for e-commerce and retail, and also ranks 4th in the Balkans for transportation. Hello, Jorina. Thank you for joining us today.
Hello. Thank you for having me. So let me share the screen. Okay.
Yes, we see the screen.
Yeah?
Yes.
So hi everyone, I'm Jorina. I'm from Tirana, Albania, and I work at the recently created Startup Albanian Agency. And just to give you a little snapshot of Albania, it's a small country located in Europe, and it has a business-friendly environment and high quality of life because we have more than 300 days of sunshine here. It has access to corporate decision makers and easy communication with public authorities. And most important, it has had a very strong digital agenda for the last years. And first impressions of our economy is that it is resilient. We have had 3 challenging years, starting from 2019, when we had a strong earthquake in Durrës and Tirana, and also the pandemic following, and the economy reestablished itself pretty quickly after that. So it's resilient, and it has economic potential as well, and sustainability. There is a clear technological focus in the last 5 to 10 years. The human resources in technology have been increasing in numbers, both at the educational level, but also at the business level. We have become a center of BPO and ICT in the region. We are very well connected to the EU market, given our location. We also have very developed digital public services and also have invested in cybersecurity competence. Basically, Albania is an ideal market to invest because it's still a virgin market. There are many services and products here that are, it is an ideal place to test them. So here are some major investors that have invested in Albania in the sector of energy, telecommunication, BPO, finance, and the banking system and the banking sector. When it comes to the ecosystem, we say that we are in the phase between pre-seed and a developed stage, but we are growing fast. We have some figures here. We have more than 250 registered startups. Worth mentioning here that Albania's population is 2.8 million inhabitants. So apart from the startup scene that is growing, we also have a growing numbers when it comes to facilitators, the incubators, accelerators, or innovation hubs that have been emerging these last 10 years. We have more than 10 of these entities. Also, the financing scene is being developed, and although we have some challenges when it comes to venture capital in the country, there are other donors and funding schemes available, private and public, and also numerous events that support the startup scene as well. So we have also created the Albanian Startup Database, which is regularly populated, and as I mentioned, there are more than 250 startups registered here. The availability of capital has been improved. The government has launched the biggest grant scheme ever last year, with a total of 3 million euros that go into grant support for startup, which is going to be implemented throughout this year. There are various new funds that have started their activities in 2019 in the region, but the majority has had Albania as a focus. So in total, the funding raised in 2022 for startups amounted to 5 million euros. So let me tell you a little bit more about the Startup Albanian Agency and its strategy this last minute. And it has been recently launched in December. It has three main pillars. The first one being the innovative entrepreneurship, where we support all the institutions and entities that are part of the ecosystem and that offer innovative programs for startups to support them to scale up. Of course, we have strategic sectors that we focus on. In the case of Albania, those are energy, BPO sector, tourism has had a major boom in the last 2 years. And also we are focusing on a more inclusive development of startups, giving priority to female entrepreneurship and also youth. What next? We aim to, our vision is to enter an late activation phase of the ecosystem, focusing on infrastructure, talent, and financing instruments development. We have a new strategy that we are launching now these days. And our main goal is to push for higher growth rate annually and to produce a larger amount of GDP, especially focused on the IT sector. Also, we want to focus on growth in number of startups and innovative SMEs, leading to a greater spillover effect, attracting talent and investment, providing better data, and focusing on subsectors that Albania can make a difference. And of course, attract more corporates and investors in the Albanian technological sector. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Irina. Thank you for sharing about the Albanian startup ecosystem. And I'm really happy to see that we now have Startup Albania. Before we were speaking with a different agency, but it's always great to have, you know, a dedicated agency for building the ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly.
We look forward to more great news about the Albanian
Absolutely.
startup. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, so now we are going to hear about the Buenos Aires startup ecosystem. You'll be hearing from Mariano, who is the project manager at Buenos Aires City Government. A few things about Buenos Aires. So it is currently 4th in South America, and interesting industries for it are fintech, where it ranks 2nd in South America, and also social and leisure, where they also rank 2nd in the region. Mariano, if you're okay, yeah, here. Hello, Mariano. Good morning.
Hi, Catherine. Good morning. It's
Morning.
a pleasure to see you once again.
Yes, it's great to see you, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for the invitation and for this awesome opportunity.
Okay. Yeah, the floor is yours. Please
Well,
check if
let
you
me
can
share the,
listen.
yes, this, the presentation. Please let me know if you can see it correctly.
It's not yet full screen for now. It's only the slides.
Right. Okay, I guess
Yes,
now
yes,
it's correct.
perfect. Yeah.
Well, hi everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the StartupBlink's team, both Catherine and Mahmoud, for the constant assistance you have always provided us with. You're a key partner for our organization, so thank you once again. Well, let me share a brief presentation of Buenos Aires City entrepreneurial ecosystem. Well, first of all, let me share with you some information about rankings. In general, Argentina is well ranked among entrepreneurial rankings. So we are first in the National Entrepreneurship Context Index according to the GEM. And we have a very high total early stage entrepreneurial activity. It's about 9.1. But it is very important to notice that 71 of our startups are driven by opportunity and by innovation or scientific issues. 12% of them provide high added value services, and 32% are highly innovative. We have a very good gender perspective, as 45% of our startups are composed of women individuals, and 46 of them hold an college degree that shows the high capacity of our entrepreneurs. Well, definitely one of the most important strengths of our ecosystem is based on the quantity and quality of local universities. Buenos Aires City counts with more than 40 universities, more than 500,000 university students, and it is considered as one of the most important cities for foreign students. In addition to that, we count with more than 40 research institutes, more than 80,000 researchers, and 32% of them are publishing in academic journals. So there's a lot of scientific background. Our ecosystem, it's wide. It comes with a very long list of actors. We have more than 53 startup incubators, 21 university entrepreneur centers, and more than 50 co-working spaces. There are a lot of private equity and venture capital partners working on the city. They are very different. Some of them tend to work with private equity, venture capital, and seed capital. And there is also a very important trend nowadays, and I'm referring to corporate venturing. There are a lot of multinational companies investing in local startups. So there is a great chance for startups who would like to associate with these big companies. Well, as a result of all of this, Argentina has produced many famous unicorns. Perhaps the most famous of all is Mercado Libre. Well, there are others very important, such as Globan, Despegar, also, and all these companies were founded in Buenos Aires City, and now they have an enormous market cap, and they have succeeded in foreign markets. As a government, as a local government, we offer a wide variety of incentives for startups. Some of them are related with funding through the Buenos Aires City Bank. We offer soft credit lines and loans for entrepreneurs. We also have very renowned incubation programs, such as Incubate. Incubate is a public policy incubation initiative for incubation, promotion, and strengthening of startups in the city. We incubate more than 100 startups a year. And there are also some special acts for promotion designed to promote high-tech companies, design art companies, and we have also created, as I will tell you in the next page, we have created two special areas for promoting startups. First of all is the Innovation Park. It's a new initiative. It's a new neighborhood, in fact, located in the heart of Buenos Aires City. Its aim is to be the core of the BA innovation ecosystem process. We connect entrepreneurs, researchers, students, and innovative companies with a local approach. It counts with 12 hectares. It's really big. There is a lot of available space for entrepreneurs. It has a very fast internet connectivity, and the idea is that some people will live there, so we will create a true startup community. It has opened in early 2023, and it's now operating with great success, and it's one of our main tools to promote entrepreneurship. There are also another special area of the city. It's what we call the Technology District. It was created by a special law. There are hundreds of companies located there, and they hire more than 20,000 professionals. Well, we offer a wide variety of tax exemptions, like a reduction in the local turnover tax. There is a reduction in lighting and cleaning tax rates, and we promote very industries such as hardware, software, BPO, education, and so on. There are top international corporations already settled there, such as Deloitte, Accenture, Neoris, Ernst & Young, and so on. Well, thanks very much for your time. We will be in touch.
Thank you, Mariano. If anyone is interested about the Buenos Aires ecosystem, you can reach out to Mariano on the email that he had. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you, Catherine. Listen to you.
So now we will be hearing about the Serbian startup ecosystem. We will be hearing from Sarah Uluik, who is the project coordinator and business analyst at Digital Serbia. A few things about Serbia. So Serbia is currently 6th in the Balkans and has an impressive number of ranked cities. They currently have 3 ranked cities in the top 1,000 cities ranked by StartupBlink. Belgrade, its top city, ranks 3rd in the Balkans for marketing and sales, e-commerce and retail, and social and leisure. Sarah, if you are in the audience, please raise your hand so we can promote you. Oh, sorry, I raised my hand. Sorry, but okay, so if Sarah is not there, we can move to the last ecosystem. So the last ecosystem we will be hearing from is Cali, Colombia. Okay. Someone reason? Yes. So we will be hearing from Sergio Zuniga, who is the Director of Innovation, Entrepreneurship and Scalable Solutions at Cámara de Comercio de Cali. A few things about Cali. It is the third ranked ecosystem in Colombia and 8th in LATAM within its population range. It is in the top 10 in LATAM on health tech as well as enterprise technology. Hello, Sergio. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Catherine, and it's a pleasure to be with you today. And well, we're very flattered to be here talking about the please and share this short presentation.
Yes,
Well,
we see it now.
Yeah, it's ecosystem one in Latin America, and I'm going to
sorry, Sergio, we can't hear you that well. Maybe it's the
Can you hear me better now?
Yes,
I
it's
have
perfect.
like
It's
a
great
lot of
now.
background noise.
No
Okay,
problem. Yeah.
We'll feel a little bit because I'm in an airport right now. I'm sorry about that. My apologies, but let's take advantage of the moments that they're in silence. So why we are promising a thriving system? Well, first of all, we have been growing since the very last 7 years, like creating new dynamics in the entrepreneurial system and having new actors and dynamics here. And according to some studies, this city stand out because it's achievement. Every year, like we have like new companies that are founded here in Colombia, which is located in the southwest part of the Colombian region, and we are connected to many cities that are around. So, that's it. We have like many cities right now, such as Florida, Windhoek, and the first unicorn that we had in Colombia has Cali founders. Founders are from Cali, and we estimate that 60% of the financing, 60% of the capital rising from entrepreneurs or some from Cali. So that's giving positive feedback in the ecosystem. So new companies, when they start, the first thing that they want to think or they want to start doing is scaling the deal. So something that we have figured out is that when scaling companies from Cali, we have reaching very quick markets that are valued over $1 million, something which is very positive for the ecosystem. We also have like many challenges right now. And one of the challenges that we have is that we don't have many funds that are operating here in Cali. Moreover, we don't have many accelerators that can be equiparated with the number of new enterprises that are born every single year. However, local government is starting to create artificial intelligence hubs, innovation districts, there are new accelerators that are starting to emerge. Especially, we have an area which is tax-free area for internationalizing services. So that's going to be a huge difference among, like if we compare other ecosystems that they don't have this type of advantages. And we firmly believe that people can become successful entrepreneurs wherever they want to live. And something that we have like here in Cali is a huge there's enabling the networking different axes of the ecosystem. So entrepreneurs really love to live in Cali and they want to create something wonderful here. Moreover, the institutional effect or the institutional capital that we have in Cali for helping entrepreneurs is growing as well. In terms of education, we as a Chamber of Commerce, of course, we have many solutions such as our virtual campus or financing solutions, such as our investment network called Pollux that has been deploying over and the financing, our intelligence financing. We have deployed more than something around $15 million in promoting entrepreneurs. In terms of innovation, we have like different scaling and accelerating programs such as Latin Impacto, which is recognized among one of the top Latin American scaling up accelerators. Present is a mentor network that has been established by recognized and top CEOs and business leaders in the region that want to give back to the ecosystem. So they are mentoring right now entrepreneurs that are growing very fast. Again, like creating new possibilities for entrepreneurs in order to get access to new markets, especially when they want to internationalize or where they want to expand their businesses. This network is very useful for them. And certainly, I mean, something that's making this possible is because we are constantly monitoring what's going on with the ecosystem, participating in exercises like this with StartupBlink, also public report, which is also associated with the StartupBlink somehow. And in that sense, we are creating new knowledge about like what we are missing as an ecosystem. Where do we have to put or allocate resources in order to make it happen? And certainly creating a more positive environment in terms of ecosystem development. And one of the things that is like highlighting the ecosystem is the Capital Summit. It's an event that we make every single year. We are in the 5th version. This year is going to happen in the middle of September. And this is one of the largest investor and startup event that is happening right now in Latin America. Over 3,000 assistants and also 160 venture capital firms, angel investors, and different alternative financing systems are coming every single year to Cali to see what's going on in our ecosystem and where are the startups that are fundable right now. So I appreciate if everyone can be in touch with us so we can tell you more about what's going on and hopefully having you here this year. Just a last thing to mention is that the United Nations COP16 is going to happen this year in October, at the end of October here in Cali. So that's going to be a possibility for people to engage in new dynamics such as health tech, which is possibilities based on biodiversity, based on biotech, based on different things that are related somehow to this topic. And finally, well, we have to highlight that this year we were awarded as one of the top 10 health tech ecosystems in Latin America, something that we are very proud of. Thank you very much, and I'm glad to know more about other ecosystems and to share with you some of our knowledge.
Thank you for joining us, Sergio. I know you just landed, so thank you very much for taking the time to present Cali to everyone today. I hope you have a great day. Okay, so that was our last ecosystem spotlight for today. Thank you everyone for joining us in our afternoon session of our first summit for 2024. I hope that you enjoyed the sessions and you learned a bit about different programs and different initiatives of the different ecosystems globally. If there's any ecosystem that you're interested in, you can reach out to StartupBlink, feedback@startupblink.com to connect you with those ecosystems if you were not able to catch their emails during their presentation. Before we go, please don't forget to download the Global Ecosystem Report 2023. Like I mentioned at the beginning, we will soon have our new report at Q2 of this year. So you'll be seeing developments of the different ecosystem globally, and also a brief overview about the current state of the different ecosystems in 2024. If you have a startup, you can add your startup at startupblink.com for free. And to be updated on all our future events and activities, you can follow us on all our social medias. We're on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. Just search for StartupBlink there. And finally, if you missed anything during today's event, the event is on YouTube. We will also be sharing a recording of the event this afternoon and also this morning. Again, thank you, everyone, and I hope everyone has a great rest of the day.